Hi, I'm Randy Hollenbeck, and this is the Music Roundtable. Today on the show, we have Melvin Smith from pop punk band College Radio.
Hey, how's it going? Doing well. Really excited.
I wanted to start out by getting into some history. How did you get into music? What age did you start playing guitar?
So I started playing guitar when I was 14, I'd say even 13. I had a friend a next door neighbor who had a guitar, and he kind of let me play a little bit. I remember he taught me how to read tabs, and then from there, I just kind of had the itch to try to learn more. So about a year later, I got my own guitar, and the floor was kind of set. I feel like I spent a lot of my time in high school just kind of holed up in my room working on song after song that I heard, just like excitedly trying to get a little better each time. So yeah, it's been a long time just kind of getting better at it.
Okay. Can you name some of your musical influences?
Yeah, easily. One of the first ones I had was Jimi Hendrix. I feel like being in Seattle in the area around there, it's kind of the first one that comes to mind. But I grew up watching a lot of like Nirvana, a lot of the Foo Fighters, a lot of Green Day, and I mean, just kind of coming from every angle. I grew up listening to a lot of hip hop and everything, but once I found rock, I just kind of started digging for myself, and everything I found just kind of pushed me to try to get into everything I wanted to try to into. Like so, I got into metal. I got into a lot of Dragon Force and a lot of Metallica and all that random stuff in high school. But the core one stayed. People that I felt like gave authentic music and constantly promoted having the connection of real music or having that real connection to the band and to having them stories actually mean something. So those guys really stuck to me. But in the pop punk side of things, I really loved Bayside. A lot of Blink 182 and some of the newer guys is like Neck Deep and a band from around here called the Home Team is another really fun band that I've been getting into from that too.
Like when you started playing guitar, you know, as a guitar player, you either go towards the lead or towards the rhythm. What would you pick?
So weirdly enough, I was kind of a rhythm guy for a while. I think if I really think about what I did at first, I was one of those guys in Guitar Center that would like do a little strum and then freak out and turn down everything because no one needs to hear me do anything. But I feel like as I've gotten a little more confident, I love leads, like playing melodies, playing the cool solos. It's a lot of fun. So I can't really take myself away from that.
Can you tell me some background on college radio and how you joined the band?
Yeah, I'll tell you this much. I know that with college radio, they've had a bit of a history just kind of getting started. I know Gordon, our singer and the other guitarist, he'd actually been doing this since about 2018. He used to be in bands like I Declare War and Enterprise Earth. And so he kind of used that experience and time to just kind of say, I want to do my own stuff. I want to write my own music that connects to me. So he kind of built it up. He eventually met with Evan, our bassist, and they've been working on songs. A lot of those songs are actually the ones in the new album that came out a few weeks ago. And that's all been a product of them during the quarantine, just kind of working things out together. And I mean, while all of that was happening, I was actually teaching. So I was an elementary school teacher for about 2 3 years. I after I kind of decided music probably wasn't the right thing I needed to do right in that moment. And then when quarantine hit, I had a lot of free time to think about things, and I realized I missed so much about music and about it. I feel like it took a lot of my identity away. So I went back into processing like music and wanting to get back into playing, and so I announced it in my social media, and lo and behold, I was friends with Gordon. So he messaged me and said, "Hey, we have this spot opened up for college radio. If you're interested, you should try out." And funny enough, I was, because I actually found them in my own little, you know how Apple Music has a new music mix where they pull all of your preferences and stuff you listen to, and they throw what you think you get into. They were one of them. Like 3 or 4 months before I even like got to talk to Gordon face to face. So I've heard of them. I knew of them. I knew they made some pretty fun stuff, and so I jumped at the opportunity. Honestly.
Do you know how they came up with the name for the band?
If I'm not mistaken, it's because Gordon actually grew up out in Auburn, which is not too far from where I am too. So he got to grow up with a college radio station that he actually really liked. It showed him a lot of the bands that he listened to, and I think he played with a couple of the ones that he listened to there too. So college radio just seemed to be one of those things that like gravitated to him. So I like it personally. It's one of those band names that just kind of, you can do so much with it. So I feel like we're just kind of scratching the surface of what we can actually get out of using college radio as our logo, our namesake. It's a lot more we can do.
What city are you guys based out of?
So we're based solely out of Seattle. You know, we're a band in the state of Washington, so I feel like there's like a 30-mile radius that says that you're in Seattle, when in all reality it's like that many people actually in Seattle. So I will say, we do say our hub, like the place we meet, the place we do all of our business and actually hang out and talk, it's all located in Seattle. So I would say that we're still counting there, even though we all assemble.
I wanted to dig in a couple songs here. Fever, it was released April 2022. And I really like how Gordon and Evan trade lines in in the verses and stuff, goes back and forth. It like creates a really cool dynamic. And there's also some really cool guitar fills in there. And I wondered if you could just tell me a little bit about that song.
Yeah, honestly, when it came to the writing, I know lyrically Gordon came up with a good chunk of the lyrical structure for it. But I know one thing he's really tried to press, and one thing that we really love to press when it comes down to it, is harmonies. And one of the biggest harmonies we've got is Evan and Gordon's dual harmonies. I think this is one of the first times they did a really good, solid trade off. And I remember when we started going through and practicing it for the first few times for the shows, you can just feel like there's just such a good energy to it. It really relates to the namesake. It just builds up, and I think it has a great message. It's to try to make sure people can promote that, you know, you can go through your processes of recovering and going towards sobriety and pushing towards those things, but you can still struggle and falter. It's all a part of those things. So we push to make sure the music also hits the lyrical need too. So I think it did it justice.
I'm running through nightmares, fighting these blank stares. I don't wanna find myself. I don't wanna find myself. I'm turning these pages, erasing these faces. I'm screaming my requiem. I'm screaming my requiem. Tonight, I'm stuck with this fever. It's burning all over. Growing sadness, I'll never be sober. I'm drowning in sweat and shame. Please tell me, do you feel the same?
Another song is 86th, and it came out May 2022. And there's a really cool line in there. The older I get, the more I recognize what I use my drama to hide behind. Um, can you tell me about that song and what 86th means?
So the name actually came a little bit later on. but we did have it as the mindset for 86, but we had more purpose for it come as we kind of started touring and kind of getting it out there. But I think when it comes down to it, it's just kind of talking about exposing the realities. Like, we may have our problems and we may have those differences that we can't stand of each other, but we also look inward and realize that a lot of the drama that we promote or push from other people are coming from our own, our own misworkings, the things that we also feel in ourselves and we needed to correct. So uh, it's just another factor that we have to go towards in our lives. And the sooner we can understand it, the sooner we can kind of face that, maybe we can defeat them or be better people and, work on them. But the name 86, again, it's another code for saying to get rid of something or get kicked out of something. And I think we have fond hatreds for Texas location of some kind, but no, nothing too major. It was just a fun misunderstanding.
Fool me once, I really don't mind. Fool me twice, I'd rather take your bad advice. 2 more shots and a couple cheap thrills. What's good? I'll pop these pills, I'm better off in bed. You're lying, this place it fucking sucks and I don't care. I'm trying, I'm useless, lazy, whatever, kiss and swear. I'm tired, just leave me with my thoughts and my despair. My despair.
You guys just got off a tour. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Was there any like crazy tour stories that went on or anything like that?
We always kind of have a couple of weird stories that come out of our tours. I think this one was just interesting because a lot of unexpected things came out of it. So more so, just having random encounters with people we never realized we'd meet, or having we were there in Vegas the day before day one of when we were young. So we kind of got to see the congregation of the elder emo start to form. I'm looking at my what is it? I'm looking at my Facebook feeds and stuff like that, and seeing everybody going, "Just landed, just got in," and it's just funny to see everybody so excited. And then once we wake up, we're in Arizona and everything canceled, and we're just like, "Wow, we kind of dodged a bullet." We wanted to go. We did try to figure some things out, but yeah, it was unfortunate. It was wild to see that from like being there and then seeing the stage all set up and ready to go, and then gone. Not gonna happen day one. But other than that, we just had some, the typical wild travel stuff. Like, Evan lost his debit card for like the briefest second at a 7-Eleven on the strip. Uh, just like we were randomly walking out, heading our way out. This woman, obviously too frazzled and multitasking 2 registers, trying to get Evan's card. He wasn't even trying to use his card, and she left it and held on to it. We ended up getting like 3 miles out towards Fremont, and he realizes he doesn't have it. So we turn back, come back into the 7-Eleven, and she's just blank staring him, going, "What? A card?" So thank goodness for the other coworker. But yeah, so we were just lucky enough to not lose any of our too much of our stuff.
I've seen a few of your videos, and I wondered if you guys like practice your stage moves, because there seems to be like one that you usually do. It's like you're kind of like spaced out with your guitar and stuff. Is that something you practice, or that's just on the fly?
So I'd like to think that a lot of the stuff we come up with comes up right when we get there to the venue. The spin thing, that I just have fun with it. I honestly, it's one of those things that I started doing as I started getting more comfortable with the song as we were practicing. And it's not like I do the spins and stuff in practice. It's just I know I can play the song really well, so then I can try doing different stuff with it. So I tried behind the back, and then I got really okay with that and said, okay, well, what else can I do with it? And the spin just kind of started coming naturally from there. But I think a lot of the time we come to a venue, and if it's like the first time we've been there, we get to kind of sit there and take a second and look at the entire atmosphere. And I don't like to say it a lot. I don't point it out to the guys because I like to make it a surprise for them. But sometimes me and Evan will kind of come up to each other and kind of go, you can jump off of that thing, and I'll tell you what, if you go down here, I'll walk over that way, and we can maybe get like people back in the bar area or something like that. So we sometimes know it, but a lot of the times it's just like we'll be in the zone. I'll look up and hey, Evan's on top of a table over there, or hey, Gordon just came off the stage and started trying to make a circle pit. That's fun. That's normal.
What do you guys got planned for the rest of the year, the next 2 months?
So we're kind of in a mini hibernation. I'd say we've had a pretty busy couple of months. In just the last year, we were able to knock out 2 tours, around 50 or so days of really fun music. And I think right now we're just kind of trying to hold ourselves up because while album one just came out, we've got stuff in the works for LP2. So literally today, I got a message from Gordon with another idea. So I'm kind of got my hands full with that, and constantly just trying to continue to work to get ourselves out there. So just like talking with you, I get the lovely pleasure to talk to a bunch of other radio stations, podcasts. I just want to have the best possible chance for us to just get to somebody that may like us or may need us. You know, that's the power of music, and the only way we can get our music out there is by sharing how much we like it, and hopefully someone else does too. So other than that, we've got 3 great shows set up. We've got a show on November 19th over at the Kraken in Seattle. We're going to be playing with Goodbye Viking and our bassist Evan's other band called Midnight Movie. And then I believe it's December 17th, we play at the Airport Tavern a little closer to me in Tacoma. And that's going to be an acoustic set. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We have a surprise guest, and I can't really say much else other than that. But just for the show, for us, we're going to have a fun acoustic set. And then finally, we're going to wrap up the year by doing a nice little New Year's semi-eve. It's the Eve on December 30th. We're going to play at the Plaid Pig out in Tacoma for the Authority Zero show that's going on out there. So we played with them for 3 or 4 days last December for their run for the Ollie Oxenfree album. And man, they're just some fun guys. So I'm really excited to see them again.
How can we get a hold of you guys? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter?
We're everywhere, man. I mean, honestly, I tell people when we're at merch, you can find us anywhere, and I'm sure if you can find your mom's laptop and open up LimeWire, we can probably download it there still. So I honestly think that you can find us on our social medias at College Radio PNW for Instagram. Search us on Facebook. YouTube's the same. And all our Instagram handles are there. Mine's at Get Fiddle Guy, but find all that fun stuff as you kind of go. But yeah.
And your new album, what's the name of it?
We have Nothing Ever Changes, It Only Gets Worse. That came out back in October 22nd, and you can find that also everywhere. So Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, Bandcamp, everywhere.
That's all the questions I have. Thanks for coming on the show today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, honestly, I just want to say thank you for anyone watching. And if anyone has come out to any of our shows so far, we appreciate you. And if you haven't had the chance to see us yet, we've got more good stuff coming. So we hope to see you soon.
I don't care. I'm not interested in what you have to say. I'm not there, but you can just keep talking.